You again, eh? Evening. You want a drink? Story? I've got plenty of both, so why don't you sit back and relax, eh? Or you better enjoy that, 'cause you won't see no robot strippers here tonight. I mean, yeah, we still got them, it's just, is their service in time? Maintenance is really important with these things, just like it is with your bike. And especially with a bike like yours. I'm joking, mate, I'm just joking. Come on, have a drink. It's on the house. Well, the first one is, not after that, just the first one, eh? You know, it's lucky I still got these models of stripper bots. They don't build them anymore. They're made entirely from prosthetics. That's why they look so much more realistic than the crappy cyber whores you get in the cheap street brothels in the city. You just swap the neurochip for a human brain and bingo, got yourself a cyborg. You know what? I could never have had them. Yeah, they came with a bar and, well, since I got them, I must say, my security system worked pretty good at keeping them safe. But back then, when this beautiful pub was the clubhouse of that rotten gang of bastards, the Satanic All-Stars, we heard that someone was massacring these bots and other models that looked similar. And no one really knew how it was happening, as well, they're programmed to stay in allocated areas. They got all sorts of software protections to stop them going out of the venue. I mean, it did happen sometimes, but there was always just gangs of thieves who'd hack them to get them out and pinch the expensive bits and fuck off as fast as they could, leave the rest there. But this was different. I mean, we'd find them in pieces, usually in the back alleys or not far from the venues, but nothing was missing. They just smashed up, guts out, face and genitals lacerated, yeah, a real mess each time, and an angry one too. It was getting worse and worse as we were coming closer to Halloween. Why Halloween? Well, I'll tell you about that later. If you'd have come here just a little while back, you could have met the only one stripper bot that got attacked and actually survived it. And back then, as I said, this place was owned by some really fucked up gang called the Satanic All-Stars Motorcycle Club. They ruled the town for a little bit, but that's another story. And anyway, one day our killer, the Ripper, as people started to call it, turned up there. It was on Halloween night, yeah. At first, we couldn't quite tell what the killer looked like. It was a dark place here. A place where weirdos would carry on dodgy business, and it wasn't unusual that they'd wear hats and masks and, Christ, whatever else that'd keep them from being seen. So anyway, that bastard managed to lure one of the cyberpole dancers out into the back alley where the dumpsters are. One of those same models as the others we found smashed. Well, the killer got this huge knife out, but the stripper defended herself. Well, not that well, but good enough and loud enough to get some of the All-Stars out. I mean, some of these guys were fucking huge. And they ain't very bright. And they look like demons because they're all more or less mutants. And they were pretty pissed as someone tried to get onto their property. They had no idea. They just thought it was another thief trying to pinch past. And guess what? In the fight, the killer turned out to be a woman. A member of the Alley Cats MC. Tough bitch, I tell you. Real psycho too. She probably killed 2 or 3 of them before she was overrun. Didn't quite get the time to explain what the fuck she was doing there. Not that they would have cared anyway. The stripper used the confusion of the situation to escape, and the Ripper was smashed on the head with a metal bar and dragged inside. And these devils played with her all night long in that basement. I know, because I found a tape they kept. Had the CCTV footage and all the videos they made while they were raping and torturing her. Yeah, I won't go into detail. I didn't watch the whole thing if you want to know. Wish I could forget the little bit I did see. Oh, fucking hell. I feel like spewing every time I think about it. What a bunch of degenerate pieces of shit. I'm glad we killed as many as we did when we took over the place. Now, on to the funny part of the story. I say funny, ironic really, to say the least. The fact that the psycho girlie got killed after all that fucking suffering on Halloween night is actually trying to avoid just that. Being killed in a ritual if she was not to find who she was searching for. But let's rewind a few years back so you get the whole picture, eh? Now, do you know where the stray dogs and the alley cats come from? Oh, you probably don't, eh? You're new in town after all. Well, I mean, I guess you know they're two of the biggest gangs around here, right? And everyone knows they've been at war since the cats were found, but not everybody knows why. I'll keep all those details for now, eh? I'll tell you how it all happened another time. Again, that's another story. Yeah, I know, I've got heaps of them, eh? Impressed? All you need to know for this story is that Jade and Marina, the two crazy pussies that made the alley cats, were originally involved pretty high up in the hierarchy of the stray dogs. Yeah, at the highest level in the gang. And Marina, she was into magic. Red magic. Now don't ask me what the fucking difference is between black, red, white, I don't fucking know. All I can tell you is that the red one is one nasty business. Fuck yeah. Especially when some dumb crazy slut plays with it to try to boost her miserable political agenda. Oh, what? You don't believe in magic? Who gives a fuck what you believe, eh? Things don't wait for your approval before they can fucking exist. And who's telling the story, eh? You or me? Yeah, so shut the fuck up, kid. Anyway, things didn't exactly work the way she expected, but her and Jade still managed to stir a huge amount of shit. Almost put the whole club down. Well, they moved on. They formed their own motorcycle club. And since they were all dykes, they made the club females only. Well, I think it was mainly for Marina to have power over all the other members. You know, sisters they call themselves. Well, you don't fuck your sisters, right? Anyway, I'm not sure where she fucked up, but apparently what she was meant to use on men seemed to only work on chicks. And this is where our little Ripper's story began. The witch bitch betrayed her lover once again. She was with someone else before that. Somebody important she backstabbed, but this time it was Jade's turn. Marina tried to sacrifice her in some kind of super powerful ritual that's supposed to give her total control of the gang or some fucking thing. It's more like a sect or a cult than a proper biker club if you ask me. Jade ended up drugged up with a mask on her face and tied her to an inverted, inflamed pentagram on a stage in the clubhouse. Meanwhile, all the other chicks were high and some sort of trance in the middle of a big fucking orgy. Right on Halloween night. 1 year before the end of our story. Gina could tell you a lot about all this. She was there that night. Now, it didn't quite go as planned for our newbie magician, as Gina and a few girls guessed there was something weird going on. Unfortunately, by the time they could do anything, Jade had her guts out and was badly burnt. A fight happened between Gina and her mates versus the wicked bitch and her security boss. And Gina made it out after getting what was left of poor Jade. And most of the girls that were on Gina's side got killed, but she escaped with one of the robot whores they had at the clubhouse. They don't look it, but they're strong, these things. And she made it to a street surgeon she knew not far from there. Not exactly the best surgeon, but they were lucky enough to have that robot with them. The ones I was telling you about, they're made of prosthetics, remember? Well, the surgeon owed a favour to Gina, so he helped as much as he could. I mean, most of Jade's body was lost. Arms, legs, most of her skin and muscles. She was almost dead when they arrived, but he still managed to transplant the main vital stuff into the cyber body. And she needed a lot of hydration and days of rest, and no one could tell if she'd live or not. But she did. Back at the Alley Cats, you can imagine that old witch Marina wasn't too pleased with all this. She held one of the girls responsible for the whole fucking mess. A girl called Amy. And Amy was a great fighter and a total fucking psycho. She'd killed loads of people before. It's like she was really trying to go as high as she could in the gang. And a lot thought she was jealous of Jade and trying hard to take her position. That's when she was sent to find Gina and Jade. And Gina, she was simply supposed to be put down. But Jade's heart was needed to be cremated or something gloomy like that, so they could finish the ritual. But it had to be done within 1 year. That Marina bitch made it clear that if Amy didn't bring back the heart in time, she'd be the next one sacrificed. I mean, would that make the ritual work? I don't fucking know. But it certainly fucking motivated to move her ass and find Jade sooner rather than later. Anyway, that surgeon I told you about before, well, he was known to the gang as one of Gina's connections. He didn't need a lot of torturing to start talking. All he could say was that Jade wasn't human anymore, and he told him what model of body she had now. And poor crazy Amy was getting nervous as the months went on, and all the slashing of androids was getting messier and messier until she finally found Jade. And she knew where Gina was, but it was less urgent, not to mention that I was protecting her. So Amy rushed to the Satanic All-Stars clubhouse to find her own death. In one of the basements. If I was you, I wouldn't go down there at night, especially on a full moon. At Halloween? Fuck, you're funny. Don't even think about it. A few people have tried, and none of them came back. But that's another story. Oh, fucking, it's getting late. I better start closing up. Ride safe, pal.